Hello and what is going on today, guys? Tomcat here, and today I'm going to be talking about a topic that is, I would say, pretty near and dear to the hearts of anybody that plays SpinTires MudRunner, regardless of what system you play it on, whether you play it on PC or Xbox One or PS4, and soon to be something else, because that is part of the news that we have to cover here. There is a lot of information here to go over with you guys. Now, firstly, the first thing I wanted to go over is the fact that... And I know a lot of you guys have been, this is something that is that has been circulating around the community for a while, and people had some questions whether or not they were going to do it, but they have officially said that they are currently working on workshop map support. That's one of the things they're currently working on. They also say other cool new features. Now, they say they have an update coming out early this year that they expect to include workshop map support. So, the days of having to go to sketchy places to download maps should be soon over with. Now, once those days are over, it'll be a lot easier for you guys to get your hands on maps, and it'll be a lot easier for everybody to get their hands on really mods in general, because trucks used to be the same deal as what maps are now. And by the way, still having weird issues with anything regarding smoke in this game. I think something may have gotten messed up. I'm still trying to figure out what it is. I tried to figure it out between the last time it happened and now, and I didn't quite figure out what it was. I'm going to go back again and try to figure it out again. So regardless, glossing over that, another thing that they're working on that's very, very important that I know a lot of you guys want to know about is MudRunner USA, which is a work-in-progress title, is currently in development. They have confirmed it. They say here, yes, they are doing it. And I'll include a link in the description below to where you can actually read the article on, to where you can read this actual article that that Focus actually posted. But regardless, basically, they're saying that they understand that a large portion of the MudRunner community is based here in the U.S., and they would like to support that community with a little bit more content that seems more familiar, and they say they also plan on using officially licensed vehicles for this. Now, as far as logging goes, and when they say USA plus logging plus officially licensed vehicles, what does that mean we're looking at here? Does that mean we're looking at, like, older Macs and Freightliners and stuff like that, or does it mean we're looking at more modern machinery? So that's something that is going to have to be explored as the game progresses, and something that we're going to have to see and explore, whatever news we can get our hands on as it becomes available. Now, another very important thing that we do have to cover here is that they say, in addition to MudRunner USA, they are continuing to explore the options of adding mods to the console versions of the game. They say, and I'm quoting them here, "We love the modding community for SpinTires MudRunner and thank them for their enthusiasm in continuing to help us make SpinTires MudRunner the best game it can be. We continue to currently look into the possibility to add some of our favorite mods into the console versions of SpinTires MudRunner as DLC." So it might not be a workshop style system. It may be more like they will cherry pick mods and then add them to the console versions as DLC packs. Now, is this a perfect solution for getting everybody's mods onto a console? No, not necessarily. But at the same time, is it a step in the right direction? Yes, absolutely, because it gives those modders that have put in time and effort and tons of valuable hours into making their mods, it gives those modders the chance to get their mods exposed to a wider audience through an official channel being a DLC from, DLC that goes into the actual game that is arranged by the developer. So you don't have to go through a crazy mod approval process for some, for some console mod system, because honestly, those are really tricky to make work properly. And I know everybody says, well, look at what, like, say, the Farming Simulator stuff, or look at, even some games like, oh gosh, did Skyrim do that? I think Skyrim or some related games did something similar as well. And if I recall correctly, the biggest issue was that a lot of people were like, whoa, wait a minute, there's a lot less stuff here than we have, say, on the PC version. So the fact of the matter remains to be that if you want to play this game specifically for mods, you're better off with the PC version. But if you can't get your hands on the PC version, they are working at making the console version supportive for what people want to do and how people want to play the game, and I think that is awesome. I think it's amazing, and I think they need to be like, I think we all need to take our hats off to what they're doing here, because it shows that they're watching. It shows that they're watching the community. I mean, they've shared a few of my videos through some of their official channels, and not necessarily, when I say channels, I don't mean like YouTube channels, but social media channels like their Facebook and stuff like that. And it shows that they're out here looking at the community. I mean, we are by far one of the biggest SpinTires related communities on the internet, and I mean, of course, I play other games as well, but a lot of you guys come from MudRunner, and I know that they come here and they see that. So it's definitely something that is worth them taking notice of, because so much of the base of this game uses mods, and I think making those available to people on consoles is going to be a really, really big deal. And I think when they say mods, that they're looking into bringing mods into the console version of the game as DLC, that could mean everything from vehicles to maps. They didn't specifically say, oh, we'll bring in certain vehicles, or oh, we'll bring in certain maps. They said we'll bring in mods, quote-unquote mods, as DLC into the game. So that is kind of an all-encompassing thing that really is, it's very broad, but it also gives people kind of a little bit more of an idea of, oh, they want to do, like, everything. They want to look at everything and go, kind of dive in on everything. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about is the fact that they are also working on a version of SpinTires MudRunner for the Nintendo Switch. They said they don't have very much to say about it right now, but it is coming, and they'll have more news in the future. Now, will I be playing MudRunner on the Nintendo Switch? I'm not sure. I don't actually own a Nintendo Switch. I never really had much interest in a Nintendo Switch, but I think that it's definitely something that I wouldn't mind looking into. I don't know if MudRunner coming out on the Nintendo Switch would make me go, oh, I need to get a Nintendo Switch so I can play MudRunner on it. But at the same time, it's really, really cool that if that community, the Nintendo Switch community, if they want to play MudRunner, they will have that option at some point here soon. Now, do I think it's going to be a really huge portion of the community? Not really, but I do think that there had to have been enough demand for it for them to say, oh, hey, we should put the effort and put the time and effort into bringing this game over to the Switch. And if they're bringing it over to the Switch, who knows? They may have some tricks up their sleeve for maybe Switch exclusive features. You never know. I mean, we'll have to wait and see when it gets closer, but I know anybody that's been wanting to play MudRunner on their Nintendo Switch is going to have that option at some point later this year, hopefully. So all these things that we're talking about here and discussing here should be, I believe that they're planning these for later this year, later in 2018. So I'm fairly confident that we'll see that Switch version later in the year. Hopefully we'll see MudRunner USA later this year as well. I mean, that's something that I feel like there's a very, very good chance that we'll see it later in this year, which, I mean, that would be one of those things that I feel like, unless it's like a whole nother game entirely, that's the only time I could see it maybe not coming this year, but early next year. But I'm pretty sure that it would be something coming later this year, because that would be such a cool concept. MudRunner USA, I mean, man, you talk about bringing that game to this audience and this community, like the US, like off-roading and logging and all that kind of stuff community. We are going to go nuts over it, and I'm saying that from personal experience. I go nuts over this game. I mean, if I go nuts over this game, you make a USA version, and that's gonna be incredible. That's gonna be nuts. So I cannot wait personally to see more info on that. I think it's going to be really, really cool. I think it's going to be freaking awesome, actually, and I cannot wait to see what they do with it. I'm very curious to see what brands they bring on for licensing, and that's, I think, one of the biggest things, right? The trucks and the machinery. If they could get, like, for trucks, we talked about some common American trucks or American truck brands earlier. If they can get also, like, some brands like, I don't know, like Caterpillar on, and maybe, oh gosh, Caterpillar, John Deere, like brands like that would be so cool to have in a game like this, because you could have actual forestry equipment. And there are other brands obviously too, but you could get some really cool forestry equipment here in the game. And I think you could have some really good fun with it. So if you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave me a like. Tell me in the comments down below what you guys thought of it. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe for more. And I'll see you guys next time. Talk to y'all later.